Marx's discovery of the continent of history laid the foundation for various sciences, including history, sociology, human geography, economics, demographics, psychology, social psychology, and human sciences. However, these disciplines often do not acknowledge Marx's theory as the foundation for their true existence as sciences, leading to ideological notions that make them semi-sciences, pseudosciences, or mere techniques of social adaptation. Marx rejected the notion of society as non-scientific and replaced it with the concept of social formation. Social formation refers to every concrete society with historical existence, and is individualized, distinct from other societies contemporaneous with it and its past. Marx showed that understanding how a given social formation functions and what occurs in it requires bringing the central concept of mode of production into play. 4 classical theses are used to show how the central concept of mode of production comes into play in Marxist theory. The thesis discusses the determinant element in the unity between productive forces/relations of production, which is the economic base or infrastructure. The thesis suggests that the question of the superstructure pertains to the nature of the concrete social formation, where at least 2 modes of production are combined under the dominance of one of them. A mode of production is a system of labor processes that produce material goods necessary for the existence of individuals in a given social formation. These processes involve agents working on an object of labor using instruments of labor to transform it into products that satisfy immediate human needs and ensure the continuation of the labor process. The agents must be qualified and have technical experience that is rigorously defined by the existing instruments of labor. The technical level of the agents is determined by the nature of the instruments of labor and the existing means of production. In capitalism, the different forms of production depend on the state of the existing means of production. The dominant relations of production and politics can either impose or allow forms of cooperation that make possible results that previous relations of production and politics ruled out. The productive forces of a mode of production are constituted by the unity of a complex regulated interplay of factors that bring on stage the object of labor, raw material, instruments of production, and agents of production, or labor power. Marx uses the terms means of production and labor power to describe the sets of productive forces, which must possess unity due to the dominance of the mode of production that dominates the others. This distinction is essential to understanding what happens in every class society, such as in a capitalist social formation, where the means of production are held by individuals outside the labor process. The text discusses the concept of productive forces and their unity, which is a list and sum of objects of labor, instruments of production, and labor power. Hegel warns that a sum is just a sum, but a specific combination with a specific unity for each mode of production. The text also addresses the type of unity that organizes the productive forces in specific forms for each mode of production. The relations of production are a special kind between agents of production in classless societies and personages who intervene in production. They hold the means of production and appropriate a share of the products of the labor of the agents of production, without providing anything in return. In class societies, the relations of production can be defined as the one-sided distribution of the means of production between those holding them and those without them. Understanding the relationship between the productive forces and the relations of production is crucial to better understand the dynamics of production and the role of the relations of production in class societies. The capitalist mode of production effectively produces objects of social utility that are consumed either individually, collectively, or productively. Utopian thinkers, apologists for neo-capitalism, and reformists start churning and promising the moon as soon as automation becomes universal, as it will put an end to nearly every intervention by labor power and consequently to the exploitation of labor power. However, capital contains neither a theory of the basic unit of production nor a theory of the basic unit of consumption. Capitalist relations of production are a system of capitalist exploitation, where the means of production are owned by a capitalist proprietor or corporation, while labor power belongs to individuals who sell their labor power for wages to the owner of the means of production. Real production cannot occur without the means of production being set into relation with and working by waged workers. The reproduction of capitalism is a concept that posits that production occurs in a capitalist regime within relations of control of the means of production, which automatically converts capitalist relations of production into relations of exploitation. Marx argues that capitalism is a mode of production whose overriding objective is to produce surplus value and capital itself, rather than objects of social utility. This is why the production of objects of social utility is wholly subordinate to the production of surplus value, or the valorization of value. The reproduction of capitalism is a philosophical argument that posits that the relations of capitalist exploitation are expressed and exercised in the forms of capitalist production itself, including its technical forms. However, Marx's work is a commentary on the fact that these self-evident truths about the division, organization, and purely technical management of labor are pure and simple illusions or impostures, milked for all they are worth in the capitalist class struggle against the workers' class struggle for the purpose of maintaining workers in the condition of the exploited. The reproduction of capitalism argues that the division of labor is a direct or indirect effect of dominant relations of production. In a capitalist class society, the development of means of production dictates the definition of posts for qualified labor, including those required to organize, coordinate, and manage that process. These posts are filled based on an implacable class division, with manual labor performed by workers, technicians, and low-level supervisors, held for life by members of the working class, while more elevated positions, such as engineers and technicians, experience their status and work as purely technical. Organizational tasks and planning and partial management of the labor process are monopolized by members of other social strata, such as engineers, technicians, middle-level, and upper-level supervisory personnel. The most important posts are held by the capitalists themselves or their direct representatives. This division into social classes is present in the division, organization, and management of the process of production, by virtue of the distribution of posts based on the class affiliation of the individuals who hold them. The official monopoly on certain kinds of knowledge, and the practical prohibition that keeps workers from acquiring such knowledge, maintain the omnipotence of the social division of the relations of production in the relations of a supposedly purely technical division of labor. No organization of the labor process in any factory can ever do without sanctions enforcing this class domination, as it is exercised in the division of labor itself, and by its agents. Capitalist relations of production involve capitalist exploitation, achieved through the extortion of surplus value and wage relations. Wages are paid in exchange for work performed in productive enterprises, which results in a double line of demarcation between a monopoly on certain jobs, reserved for one part of the workforce, and the penning of another part, the workers. Employees can be divided into three major categories: those who perform only junctions of production, those who perform functions of exploitation that are always functions of production, and those who perform functions of repression that may be combined with functions of exploitation, or may not be. The forms of class struggle within the process of production are complex, with the sole purpose being the exploitation of wage workers, especially the most exploited. The system of monopoly and penning in and all differences in function, including the repressive function, converge to accomplishing this exploitation or super-exploitation. The workers' class struggle in production is rooted in the harsh realities of exploitation. The experience of the class line between manual and non-manual workers, and the actual behavior of supervisors, engineers, and agents of repression. The capitalist class and its ideologues have a powerful interest in presenting the technical social division of labor as a purely technical division, which can be a threat to the foundations of working class consciousness. To build socialism, new relations of production must abolish the exploitative effects of previous relations of production, and all their class effects.